things I'm angry about regarding Ferguson that people don't understand why I'm angry about. Hope this helps. I'm angry that they let him opt out of carrying a taser and only made him carry mace and a gun. I'm angry that they didn't make him write his own police report. They told him to leave the scene and that one of them would write it for him. I'm angry that he felt the need to shoot 12 times when the autopsies have proven that he was going down after the third shot entered his body, the one that hit his shoulder. I'm angry that they didn't take pictures at the scene because their camera batteries were dead, so there's a sudden mysterious lack of evidence. I am angry that they didn't interview any eyewitnesses until 5 days after the shooting happened. I'm angry that they left his body in the street for 5 hours. I'm angry that people seem to think it's okay that when we cannot prove this was self-defense, there doesn't need to be a trial and someone is dead. But one of the protesters in Ferguson threw some red paint on some officers, and he was arrested, put in jail on a $30,000 bond, and will be going to court facing 9 charges of assault. Also, in the meantime, tonight, an officer in St. Louis was arrested. He is a black officer. He's 44 years old. There was some sort of altercation on a subway, and he gave someone a literal slap on the wrist with his baton. He was arrested, put in jail on a $3,500 bail, and he will be going to court. And guess who they've asked to handle the case? The same guy that prosecuted the Darren Wilson case. And guess what they've asked him to do? Press all available charges. Try to tell me the system's not broken with that. I'm angry that the man who prosecuted Darren Wilson, supposedly presenting evidence against him, was also the man that raised $500,000 on his behalf. I'm angry that in the testimonies, 16 different eyewitnesses said that Michael Brown's hands were up when he was shot, and they ignored that completely and said no, they were not, even though a forensic pathologist analyzed the autopsies and said that it was a joke in the defense of Darren Wilson. Because if he cannot handle an unarmed teenager potentially posing a threat, then what is he going to do as a cop in the real world when he's faced with somebody that does have a weapon that could potentially very seriously injure him? I am angry that the media is only showing the violent side of the protests when everybody who's been following this at all and paying any attention knows that the majority of the protests are peaceful and we are pushing for a change. We are not here to burn down your cities and wreak havoc, but the media wants their ratings, so all we're going to show is those fires. I am angry that every time a source appears showing some new evidence that disregards what they actually presented in the trial, it's automatically regarded as ridiculous and completely biased and so liberal and left-sided that nobody will even listen to it or pay attention. I'm angry that 90% of the adults I've talked to about this over the age of 30 have told me that if only I were more educated and less opinionated and I knew how the world worked and did some research, I would understand that the system worked exactly as it was supposed to and nothing possibly went wrong. Yet, when a cop in Illinois shoots a family dog, he goes to jail, he goes to court, he owes that family $300,000. But we can't even find a cause for a trial here. If we cannot prove it was self-defense, if I am not proven with 100% certainty that those shots were fired in self-defense in fear of his life, then I need a trial. Because if we can't prove that it was self-defense, we can't prove that it wasn't. And what's the next step from there? Does this just keep happening and happening and happening? And how many times are we going to put the cops above the law? If a civilian had fired those shots, there would have been a trial. I am also angry that people keep telling me that everybody should really wait until the emotion dies down before they take any action, because no one's going to take it seriously with all these emotions running so high, because all of the people that changed history clearly waited until the emotions died down. The civil rights movement, the women's votes movement, all of the major rights movements. You really think they waited for the emotion to die down before they did something about it? So here's what I think. I think we're making a difference. I think the older generation is scared. I think they see that we have a real possibility of changing things if we keep pushing this forward. I am not saying go out and be violent and make a scene so that people pay attention to this, but I am saying do not let this drop. The media coverage has been decreasing day after day after day. We have to keep this going. Luckily for us, this is now an international thing. London and France are now protesting with us. And when different parts of the world can see how badly we screwed up, then we are doing something right in protesting it. We have people standing with us. We need to keep this moving. So please, please, please do not give up on this. Do not forget about this. Do not move forward from this and just let it be another thing that happened. There are petitions going out to the White House asking to get this put before the Supreme Court, or to reopen the case, or to do an investigation of the Ferguson Police Department, all of which I believe are great options. So please, please, please do not lose your passion on this, no matter what you are told, no matter what you hear. Keep doing research on this. Keep finding things that they will not be able to argue us on. Everybody is so dead set on having hard evidence in this case. They claim that we can't call it self-defense. We can't not call it self-defense because we don't have hard evidence proving either one. But we do have hard evidence proving a lot of things about this that everyone is ignoring because they don't want to hear it. So please keep this moving. Thank you.